think, in the game since 2010. And you know, Vic Beasley got a couple of them. Really proud of how Cortez Davis played. You know, going in there as a guy that hadn't had a lot of reps in practice and hadn't had a lot of game time. He's just having to kind of mentally get ready and get his snaps when he can in practice. But I thought he stepped up and did some good things, created a turnover for us, which was huge. That was a huge momentum play in the ball game. It was the only turnover that we had. So just a lot of good things. Defensively, you know, it's about 4 weeks in a row now that they're continuing to improve and looking like they're just, you know, having fun playing football. And got a little sloppy there. The first touchdown, we had some penalties, and then we missed a tackle. But again, they battled their tails off all night long. And you know, if we can keep improving, we've got 30 days left in this season. And if we can, you know, just stay committed to doing the little things right, practicing the right way, you know, stay focused to on trying to be the best that we can be on and off the field, we got a chance to have a good finish. And got another tough one next week on the road up at Duke, a team that's, you know, playing very well, and we'll have to go in their place and try to find a way to keep our momentum going. Just got to keep paying the price and trying to win each day. But for us, the season starts tomorrow. That's kind of our mentality. And you know, that's we'll go back to work tomorrow, grade this one, put it to bed, enjoy a day off on Saturday, and then start getting ready for Duke again on Sunday from a coaching standpoint. But again, a great win, great team effort, and a lot of individual performances that were very, very good. So with that, I'll take your questions.
Coach, how good to see a guy like Sharon Peak, who admittedly, he said he had a rough freshman season, gets his first touchdown tonight. That's got to be pretty special for the coaches.
Boy, he's been so close, you know, a couple times. You know, you remember he dropped his first touchdown last year against, I can't remember who we were playing. He was wide open and dropped it, and that was kind of the story of his season last year. Just kind of lost his confidence, but you know, Sharon's been awesome since last spring. He's been really, really good. Had a great spring. Has had a heck of a year. I mean, heck, he, you know, especially with Sammy out early. I mean, he stepped up and, you know, performed well. So it was really good to see him. And that was actually a run call. And you know, but we kind of give them the opportunity there, if they like the matchup, to take that ball. And you know, really, really well executed route by Sharon, and just a perfect throw by Taj Boyd. So really happy for him. Good to see him. You know, Martavis Bryant was excellent. Made some big plays. You know, that I mentioned that last week. One of the things I was disappointed in offensively last week is we really did a poor job of spreading the ball around. You know, we're at our best when we're spreading around and getting a lot of people involved. And we got back to that tonight. There was I don't know how many guys touched the ball, but there was a bunch of them. We had a lot of guys touching, and it was good to see Martavis make some big plays. Jerron Brown, I'm telling you, we probably don't have a better guy with the ball in his hands than Jerron Brown. He is incredibly difficult to get on the ground, and he makes just big play after big play after big play. He goes over the middle. You know, I am so proud of the player that Jerron Brown has become. And you know, you mentioned Sharon and Adam. We had the opportunity to get Adam in and get him a pretty good amount of time at corner, and you know, just he got a little bit of practice this week, so that was a blessing, because I think, you know, Gary felt like he could go back in, had some kind of bruise on his side or something, but he wanted to go back in and said he could play. But we took advantage of the opportunity that presented itself with the situation in the game to get Adam some time, because I think that's just going to help him, because we just got to have him ready. You know, as long as we got Gary and Brewer and Breland, get Breland back, you know, we're in pretty good shape. But you know, with Breland out, and all of a sudden you lose one of them other guys, and get thin quick. Really, again, positive to see Cortez step up, so that's going to really help us. But we've got to keep Adam just kind of coming along. I know we got a little tired, but I thought he did a really good job. And we're just going to, you know, keep it simple with him. You know, just kind of make sure he knows his responsibility. We're not asking him to, you know, be in tune to the whole defense. Just here's your job, do your job. So again, good to see him get some action on both sides of the ball.
Talk about the vertical passing game, because that just seemed to be there all night long.
Well, they gave, they played man coverage and gave us some one-on-one matchups, playing some quarters and some one safety defense, and we just took advantage of it. The big play to if you remember going this way early in the game, we threw a deep ball and Sammy missed it. He really was there, and Taj threw the ball a little too far outside. And Sammy, if he keeps him inside, it's probably a touchdown. But that play set up the touchdown, the first touchdown. We came back and we ran the comeback off of that, and he just broke the tackle. And that's what happens when you got one guy playing one guy and you don't make the tackle. It's a big play. And then we came back and we ran a crosser, and it's something we had worked. They like to play quarters coverage, and the safety kind of bit down on the in cut. And so we had the post route, and it was just a great throw, and we went and got it. That was a big play. So we just made the plays that presented themselves and took advantage of the opportunities. And one of the things that helped us was trying to get the screens involved, the screen game, the quick games, trying to get them to come up and be aggressive with us. We hit Nuke on a hitch and go, so we just tried to take advantage of what was there, and I thought they did a good job early in the game, really, with our running game. But we were able to find a little rhythm, started going to a little bit of our power read play, which gave us the opportunity to keep it outside or hit the power inside. And I thought that really kind of loosened them up a little bit in the running game for us, and then everything else just kind of played off that. But Taj Boyd was just tremendous. I mean, just on the money.
How much focus does it take to come to a place like this? I mean, it was a late arriving crowd tonight. There weren't that many people here, and these guys are hearing all this stuff about. I mean, this looked like a focused effort tonight.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I tell them all the time is, listen, if external factors are going to determine our performance, we're never going to be good. We're never going to be consistent. If it's got to be a certain temperature, or we have to play at a certain time, or there has to be certain amount of people in the stands, that shouldn't matter a lick. You show up and you play. You have to perform. I tell them that all the time. It's a game of performance. When LeBron James steps on the court, he's the best player, but he's got to perform. The Yankees showed up. They pay him more money than anybody. They got the highest payroll and probably got the most talent, but you still got to perform. It's just that simple. So you can't just show up and win on paper. You have to perform. It's a game of performance, and that's got to be the mentality. And again, you have to focus on what they bought into is playing to our standard of best. Just whatever the best for me is, that's what we got to focus on. Nothing else. And again, because if those external factors are a part of how you play, you'll never be consistent. You'll never be a quality program, year in and year out, which is what we're trying to do. And that's our next goal is just to become a consistent winning program at a high level. Right now we're 7-1, and I think we're getting better. I see us improving. We still got a lot of work ahead of us, but it's not easy to be 7-1. The credit goes to those players. I mean, they bought in and they do the right things. The leadership's there. We got good chemistry. We got great coaches. But the credit goes to those players, man. They play their butts off, and they try to please us, and they want to win. They want to be good. They're very coachable.
Had to be very satisfying for you to see the pressure you're able to get on that quarterback and get some sacks.
Yeah, big. And again, that goes back to what I was saying last week is we're just getting better up front. I mean, they're figuring it out. They're learning how to play from their experience. All those guys and that's helping Malachi because all them other young bucks are starting to become players, and now you're seeing 97 starting to come on, and it's good to see Vic Beasley in there making plays. Tavares and Grady and Deshaun, all those guys were playing a lot of guys, but now they've got 8 games and an open day. So they have that experience. They've studied themselves on film, and that's how young players improve. They have to go play. You can only bring them so far, and then they got to go play, and they got to make mistakes. You got to correct those mistakes. They got to play, and so they're just getting to where they're winning some matchups now, and just they're fitting things right. They're playing off of each other right. They're executing the stunts and all those things. just much better, playing with low pads and good leverage and playing with a lot of confidence. You know, confidence is a huge part of it. And the confidence comes from, again, just the understanding of what they're doing. So they're playing a little faster. And that's really good to see. And we brought a little pressure. Brought a little pressure from time to time, too, and we were able to affect the quarterback.
Can you talk a little bit about the matchup next week with Duke? I mean, you look at Duke a lot of times on the schedule, and they don't look like much, but they're a lot more than that this year.
Well, I've been up there and been beat before, so, you know, I remember it very well. My second year at Clemson, we went down and beat Miami, and boy, we were the greatest thing ever. I think they were a top 10 team maybe when we went down there. You know, they were the best thing in the world, and we were going down there and winning that game. You know, we ate 3 Dub bars each on the way home. Well, this was great. And then we go to Duke, got our tails handed to us. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. That field goal just bombed. And you know, so and that's a long time ago, but I understand. Listen, it don't matter. And this is a different Duke team than that team was. This is a team that's competing for the ACC title right now. They're playing with a ton of confidence. You know, I'm first of all really excited for Coach Cutcliffe. You know, he's one of the gentlemen in this business. He's one of the class people that absolutely does things the right way. He's a great example to all of us coaches of how you should do it. And you know, so I just couldn't be more happy for him because you know I know how hard it is to win, and you know, especially at that place, a place that really hasn't won a lot, and to go in there and change a culture and to do those things, man, listen, you know what a tremendous job he and his staff have done. And those players buying in. So I'm looking forward to it. And we're going to have to play well. You know, we'll have to play well. We'll get a chance to see them this Saturday. They got a tough trip down to Florida State. But when we come out there next week, they'll be excited. They're back at home and haven't been up there in a long time. So, you know, I'm looking forward to getting our team ready to go and competing against a very quality team. But again, it's really not about who we play. I mean, we have to get ready for whoever the opponent is. But our focus is much more on Clemson and you know how we prepare, you know what our mentality is, our commitment, you know all those type of things. We got good players and a good team, and if we play to our standard and guys play the best they can, then you know I can live with whatever happens on the scoreboard.
Anything else?
Okay, thank y'all.
Coach.